Hi guys, I'm here with my tail, my peacock tail. I got a request to show how to make it. And I had a video 2 years ago when I first wore this, when I made it, that just showed the makeup that I wore with this peacock costume, and people really wanted to know how I made the tail, and I never explained it because I had already made the tail, so I couldn't film me making it. Basically, what you need to get are these really long peacock feathers. So we're used to seeing peacock feathers that are like about this long, maybe like a foot long, but you need the ones that are really, really long, like the actual longer peacock feathers. And I found these at Michael's, but they were not in the feather aisle, like the feather aisle where you would get the regular black feathers, which I also used. They were actually in like the flower arrangement aisle, and I don't know if they're always available, but they were available that September, October, whenever I bought them. I got 15 of the really long ones. And then I also got these shorter ones that had 3 coming out of it. So it has 3, these 3, 1, 2, 3, coming out of it, and they're shorter and thinner. Yeah, that's where I got those. And then I got these black feathers just to cover up like everywhere where I glued them together. And I glued them together on, I don't know if you can see this, but this right here is just the top of a yogurt container, like one of the bigger yogurt containers with the plain yogurt or the vanilla yogurt. So I just took the top of that, I cut off the little lip of that, and then I just hot glued like crazy all the long ones in this pattern so that it would fan out like this. And then to keep them on, I just glued some ribbon. You can like actually get a piece of felt or something and make it that exact size and glue that on just for comfort and for extra reinforcement. But I just used ribbon and it was fine. So then on the back it looked pretty crappy because I just glued everything together, and you could still see the yogurt container. So I just took a couple of pieces of ribbon and I made this, like what the regular ribbons look like breast cancer awareness. So I made one of those shapes, and then I just glued the feathers, the black feathers, onto it just to hide all that. And then I just put this extra little one just for fun. So I glued all of them so that while I was wearing it, the prettier part of the feathers was facing the front of my body, and then the brown parts were facing the back. So like when people saw me coming, they would see the pretty parts. And except for this little one, I just put the pretty part facing the back because that's where you would see it from. What else? Oh, right, of course. So then also, I glued these thin ribbons on, and these are the ribbons that actually tied it on to me. What I had to do was tie 2 sets of ribbons. Over the last couple of years, this ribbon had to get cut. I think I actually used it for something, like wrapping something, and that's why I cut it, which is kind of stupid of me. I don't know why I didn't just get other ribbon. but I think I actually used it for something else. But I needed 2 sets so that, because when I just put this one set on, it was still wobbly. But I needed it to be really secure, and it ended up being very secure, and it didn't really move at all. So I did this one, which was around my waist, and then this one lower was around my hips, and it stayed really well. The ones that were around my hips I actually tucked underneath the skirt that I wore, and the ones around my waist I tucked underneath my shirt, I think. Or maybe I just tied it around my shirt. I can't remember right now. So you couldn't really see that it was there. So basically that's it. I just hot glued everything. I didn't use anything else to adhere them together besides hot glue. So everything here, the feathers to the ribbon, to the smaller ribbon, to the yogurt top, all of it is just hot glued together, and that's how I made it. So what I did to make sure everything was even though is I spaced it out. Like I got these, the ones on the side had to be shorter, so then I pulled it through this way. I put these two down, then I glued it onto these two, and that was the lower base. And then I wanted the back ones, the ones in the middle, to be the highest ones so they would peek over my head. So I didn't pull them through as low. I glued them up towards the top of the yogurt container. And then the lower ones I just pulled through so that they were lower. And that's how I made the shape. And basically I just laid it out on the floor, and I just stood up on my bed and looked at it from up top to see if everything was even, and that's basically all I did to make the feathers. It didn't take that long. You know, I wore it last year on Halloween, but even though it's not really, it's not something that you want to keep in the closet for as far as costume goes. Usually, you wear it once and then you get rid of it, or you just keep it in the closet for dress up or something, but this is something that I can keep out on my desk, and I do. Even my brother was living here for the last couple of months while I was out on my rotations, and he kept it up by the window just like I did. So, yeah. So I recommend being a peacock for Halloween if you can. And now you know how to be. So thanks for watching. I will see you in my next video.